Wow, it's a beautiful Tuesday, and I'm very happy to be here because today I have a very exclusive conversation. Now, months gone by, I've always been saying this industry we're in, right? The creativity, the music, the artistry, the actors and actresses. We can't do none of what we do. The presenters, right? We can't do none of what we do without the platforms we're blessed to be on, like MX24 TV, like music streaming platforms, like TV streaming platforms, right? So those behind the cameras are as important as those in front of the cameras, right? And the fans can do none of this without the fans because it's all about access and reaching and having the conversation directly. Now you go on X, you tweet, you get a quick response. You go on Instagram, send a DM, you get an immediate reply. That's how easy it is. And the world has become so connected. Now the good thing is that connectivity, we reach out to each other instantly. And someone might say it's created to some extent, pressure it is because now someone in Ghana has quick access or can make music or is expected to make music with Nicki Minaj, or Drake or Kendrick Lamar or 50 Cent. So it's been a very big blessing, the space we're in, and expectations have risen so much, and that's why I really want to focus heavily today on the platforms that we're blessed to be on. And that's the focus for this conversation because I'm going to talk to a gentleman who's given us so much access. And yes, I'm going to get to that in a bit, but please send us messages. Can never do this without you, MX24 TV. The hashtag for this show is MXLIVE, and today is a very exclusive conversation once again. So please send us messages, ask questions, suggestions, ideas. We're open to absolutely anything. I always say stalk us. We absolutely do not mind. Tell someone to tell someone else to give us a follow, and we're going to respond to as many as we can. So as always, quick commercial break. We'll get right back, and we'll get straight into the conversation. Welcome back, guys. MX24 TV. The hashtag is MXLive, and once again, a very exclusive conversation. I always say I have the best job in the world. Last 3 weeks, I was talking to Eric Bellinger. A few months ago, talking to some amazing artists all across Nigeria. And today, I'm talking to again a gentleman who's given us access and a platform to express ourselves, basically. So stay tuned in. And again, if you have any questions, keep them coming through. Now, some of you may have heard about a very important platform to creatives that's called AudioMac. Now, this has given us so much access to test ourselves, to see comparatively, to other countries, because we are in a very competitive, industry position. We're blessed to be in, to have the conversations we do have, to have the listeners and the viewers. That is you guys, because you guys buy the music and you guys listen to what we put out. So to be here in the presence of the co-founder and chief marketing officer David Ponte of AudioMac is a very big highlight in my career. No understating that. David, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Thank you so much for being here, because you're extremely busy. I hear you're all over the world every single time.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. I still get to relax now and then, but happy to be here in Accra, Ghana. It's my second time here.
Wow.
So it's a blessing to be able to come here, especially in the winter months in New York, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Happy to be here in this weather.
Nice one. First thing I want to know, right, as someone who has, because I make music too, right, and I have my music on AudioMac. When you guys began this, you and your team, did you see it getting this far, like this big?
We were pleasantly surprised. We started in 2012. It was just a couple guys with an idea on how we could help artists present their music in a more professional way and gain fans. But we had other jobs. Okay. And then it was a part-time thing until around 2015, where we devoted our full time to creating AudioMac and building AudioMac. Around that time, we came out with the apps, right? It seems like ubiquitous today, but around that time, people were still using mobile websites or laptops.
Yeah.
Then we had apps, and it was really around 2017 where we started to see a lot of users in West Africa, Nigeria and Ghana in particular, and we just fell in love with the music that was being made here, and we wanted to lean into it and started to put effort and resources into this region, and we've gotten so much out of it, and have helped spread the music that's being made here around the world.
On this journey so far, right? So I'm here in 2012. Was there any point where you guys were like, oh man, this is tough. What have we gotten ourselves into? Because I talk to artists all the day, and behind the scenes more so, they tell me, bro, I'm not getting the response I want to get. Like, should I continue this? Like with finances, the conversations, the right doors. So somebody watching this is going to see and say, wow, over 10 years. What were some of the difficult parts, about being a part of this journey?
Well, you said, have you ever woke up and thought to yourself, how are you doing this? Yeah, it happens almost every day, right? And then like any entrepreneur, if it was easy, then everyone would do it, and then probably you wouldn't be creating something of value. So you do want to face those challenges and that adversity and problem solve. That's what being an entrepreneur is, and that's what being an artist is too. How can you better deliver your creativity to your fans, no matter what the art is. So in terms of challenges, I think, one is just getting licenses, right? AudioMac is a platform where an artist can make an account and upload their music and get paid on it through our monetization program. But a lot of artists use labels or distributors, and you have to go and you have to do deals with these distributors. And that takes a long time.
Yeah.
Anything with lawyers, is a challenge in general. But we have great partners, and we've helped a lot of artists who are interested in getting signed by a label to build the leverage necessary to get a deal that's fair for them, so that they could get the benefits of working with a label. Yeah. While other artists feel like they don't need to, and they could just stay independent, and that works for them. Yeah. So we help artists go in any direction that's best for them.
Before we carry on, I have to say a big thank you for that, because I'm sure you see stories about what artists go through, right? With lawyers, like you said, getting the right deals, feeling like they can't put their content out there, And I was telling you off air that you don't need a particular type of phone. Once you have the internet and you have the will to get your music and your creativity out there, AudioMac is that platform to put your music on. And you were telling me a story about Shatawale, right, and how he came to New York, if I'm not mistaken, and how he was one of the first artists from Africa, to be on your platform. Were you guys also heavily surprised by how Ghana really latched onto AudioMac and how much you've impacted our industry here?
I think we were surprised, certainly. When you have apps, it's globally available, right? Yeah. So, you start to see data come in, and people are uploading songs, people are streaming songs. What kind of songs are they listening to? Like, as myself, as a music nerd, that's one of the most fun parts of my job. I could go to a map, click on whether it's a Kumasi or what have you, and see what people are listening to there. And then our curators use that, as well as what their gut says, what they're listening to create the best playlists, right? To champion the best emerging artists. So it's a combination of what our curators do and their devotion, but also what the data and insights say. So that's a key part of running any business, is what is that data telling you? It doesn't have to make sense, it just has to work, right?
Okay.
Which I heard from one of my mentors back in the day, because sometimes it's just what you have to go where your users tell you to go. Yeah. So we reinvest into Ghana and try to help build an infrastructure here. I was here in 2019, and we started to see some of the pillars of the infrastructure being made. And it's not just AudioMac, it's the publishing, it's all different facets of the music industry. Yeah. So it's developed a lot since I was here in 2019, and that's another reason why we're here in 2024, to continue to help build an infrastructure and support the infrastructure for the entire music industry and the artists here.
Okay. So far, right, from like holistically, right, are you happy with Or do you think we should take more advantage of the platform? Because again, it's there, right? You can do with it what you will as a creative. Now, you see artists, from different genres, from different age groups, the legends, the new artists, the emerging artists. Should we do more? And I ask this because when I sit here and I talk to artists, right, who are going like, oh man, I'm putting my music out there, but again, what can I do? I want people to hear the music more. It's all about promotion, right? And getting listeners and stuff. So is there more we should do as creatives right now?
I think you want to work smarter, right? Not saying you don't want to work hard too, but working smarter is key. What is working for you, and do more of that, right? So I think with AudioMac, we have a creator app. So we have the listener app, which is where people are listening, and then we have the creator app, which is an artist such as yourself can go on and upload music. And there's so many different features in there that are free that will help you make better decisions as an artist, because an artist is a business.
Yes.
And you need to be smart about how you're taking the time that you have available and devoting that. So the creator app will let you look at the data, where people are listening to their music, what playlists are they coming from, and you could glean insights from this information. You could see what songs are performing the best, looking at the engagement metrics and saying, all right, this song is actually performing better than the single I put out.
Yeah.
Let's put resources into this. Let's make a music video for that. Let's get a feature for that. Let's, do more social content for that. So I think, you want to be smart and tactful about how you're spending your time.
Okay.
That's what I mean by smarter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you to some degree you want to put a lot out there, especially as a new artist. But if you're not seeing what's hitting and what's sticking for that, then you're not really taking advantage of that strategy. So, a creator app will help you take advantage.
Yeah. What surprised you the most about the Ghana music industry, whether good or bad?
I think in general, the influence of dancehall here. You weren't ready. I think there's, AudioMac is very big in the Caribbean too, particularly in Jamaica, and obviously Jamaicans, to keep it general, invented dancehall music.
Yeah.
And then we've seen people in Ghana use this to make Afro dancehall music, or have dancehall elements in their music, whether it's in the percussion, whether it's in the style of rapping. And a lot of Ghanaian artists go to Jamaica to work with the Jamaican artists. And I think that's important to sort of cross-pollinate like that, because Jamaicans are very protective of dancehall music and reggae music.
Yeah.
And of course, that music originates in Africa, a lot of the elements of dancehall and reggae. So it's cross-pollinating, going back and forth, and I think, we've seen artists like Stonebwoy go to Jamaica and work with a lot of the reggae artists there, and so on. So that was interesting to me. Is just like the fabric of the music, what inspires artists, and dancehall has inspired a lot of artists here in Ghana.
Do you think we understand the business as much? Because you have a masterclass coming up. Obviously, we can always learn. We're going to get to that in a bit. But up until this point, do we understand the business, and do we take it as seriously? Because again, we love what we do. We're all having fun. You're putting the music out there, people are performing, but we have to eat at the end of the day, for lack of a better, expression. And funding and money drives the industry we're in. It helps the music moves that. We want to see the features, the traveling. We just want to get right. We want the industry to grow. When you compare our industry to others, the States, obviously far ahead, are we catching up business-wise as fast as we possibly can?
I think you are, yeah. I think there's always room to improve, and then the industry is also evolving, right? So, what would work one year might not work the next year. Yeah. So, it's about staying ahead of the curve, as much as building that foundation that is necessary to propel the artists forward. So I don't think Ghana, it's a generalized statement, but I don't think Ghana's behind or ahead necessarily of anybody. I think one of the challenges here, compared to Nigeria, which of course is always happening, Nigeria is 220 million people. give or take.
Yeah.
Ghana has 30 million people,
Yeah.
give or take. So it's just a different journey. You need, a lot of people.
Yeah.
You need a lot of students. You need a lot of people who, maybe go to UK or go to the States or go to France, and go to school there, learn there, and bring that knowledge back here and teach here. So it takes time. It takes years. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. But in terms of the speed and acceleration of how the industry is coming along here, I would say Ghana's ahead of some of the other countries that Audimac is very big in.
Yeah.
So, it takes time. It takes education, and it helps to have big artists that can, take the industry and represent the country here. And you're starting to see some more of these artists now.
So do you think sometimes we're a bit too harsh on ourselves? You
Yes.
might have seen this like, oh, Nigeria, Afrobeat, we want to get there, we want to have the features. Obviously, you see Davido, you see Wizkid, you see Burna Boy, Ira Star, Tiwa Savage, they're blazing the trail, right? Give credit where credit is due. Then we come in, we're having these conversations, we talk to us like, no, we're too far behind. We're not shooting the kind of music videos we want to shoot. You see Ashake and Travis Scott and the music they're putting out. And again, it comes back to us being too harsh, so to speak, on ourselves. Are we?
I think you're too harsh. I mean, I'll tell a story, right? So
Please do.
Last time I was here, 2019, I spoke on a panel here, and one of the people in the audience had made a similar question. They
Okay.
go, well, why is Nigeria so far ahead of us?
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact, but that I'm paraphrasing, but and people in the panel answered, and then I answered, and I was like, they just have more people, and everyone booed at me and jeered.
Oh, man.
They didn't want to hear that answer. It was
Yeah.
almost like they wanted me to say, no, you're doing bad. But I think it's just reasonable expectations based on the population size. Like, it's a boring answer.
Yeah.
A country, or even if you go to America and the States, New York is going to have more rappers than a state with less population,
Yeah,
right? It's just
yeah.
how it is, right? The biggest rappers are from LA, from New York, Chicago.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest cities. It's not a coincidence. So I think you have to be reasonable with the amount of people that are here and like the amount of talent that's available. So I think you're being too harsh. I think patience is key.
Yeah. We are trying.
Yes, 100%.
So you're impressed, David?
I'm impressed. There's more artists now that are like playing in the global scene than there was in 2019.
Yes.
And even like 2-3 years ago. We have seen a lot of growth in Europe with Ghanaian music.
Wow.
And this is interesting because France is playing a ton of Ghanaian music. And you would think it would be, oh no, they're playing Fally Ipupo, they're playing the Francophone artists, and of course they do, but Ghanaian music actually is streamed just as much, if not more.
Wow.
We have a very popular playlist called 233 Energy, and that's the hot music in Ghana, high tempo music in Ghana. And people in Germany play that. The top playlist in Germany and France is 233 Energy,
Wow.
which is surprising. You'd think you would hear French music or even Nigerian music,
Yeah.
but it's not. So we're seeing a lot more growth on the global scale.
Wow. I am very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like that's impressive. And again, the numbers don't lie. The metrics tell the truth, and you see these things. So, wow. I mean, I'm lost for words right now. Please send us messages, MX24TV, #MXLIVE. And I'm very happy the insight you're giving us to understand where we are, understand what we can do to make ourselves better, right? And you guys have a masterclass coming up. Please tell me why you think it's important right now to do this for us, basically.
So it's important, like we talked about earlier, like you need to build a foundation, and education is a way to put those blocks together to build it, right? So we have different master classes. I'll be doing one. Charlotte Buana, our VP of Marketing, is doing one on branding and marketing and Audiomac platform strategies. We also have an artist management class, which Amare's manager is doing. We have Brian Demensa's team here as well.
Okay.
Doing a master class, legal strategies, social media, all the different sort of tenets that you need to know and learn more about in order to have a successful career in the music industry. And Ghanaian people are giving these master classes along with people from America and people from Audio Mac. So, they're spreading the knowledge, and this is what's necessary to lift the entire industry up as a whole here.
Now, one thing about Audio Mac, you guys really support genres, right? I see hip life, I see high life, all on there. And we have this conversation here again about, it has to be Afrobeats or you're not going to break through again, so to speak. And in asking that, what I want to know is that the way, to focus on the genre that's doing well at the time? Is an artist's success measured solely on numbers? Even though we understand, the more numbers, the more listeners, that's why we compare ourselves to Nigeria and South Africa and all of that. So coming back to the question, is it based off numbers? Is this solely a numbers game? And is that affecting the fact that we don't release as much high life and hip life as before?
It's really in the eye of the beholder, right? Like, meaning it's whatever that particular artist's objective and goal is, the success metrics that you would measure are going to be different for each artist. So, of course, having a lot of numbers is good. Every artist wants a lot of numbers. Are people around the world going to listen to hip life and high life, or are they, as of right now, it's, there's other genres that are more popular. So if your goal is numbers, you probably want to make more mainstream adjacent music, like an Afro pop or like a, I'm a piano infused Afro sound music. King Promise, he makes a lot of Afro pop. Of course, he has high life influences and has high life songs, but he makes his big songs are Afro pop songs, generally speaking, and they have elements I'm a piano in it, and that's what's hot right now. So you want to fill out big venues. You're going to have to appeal to the mainstream to somewhat, and that's his goal. He's one of the leaders here in the industry, and he's spreading Ghanaian music and the message worldwide, using that as a conduit to do it, right? But as an artist who wants to make pure hip life or Afro dancehall and speak and tweet, obviously people in America don't speak that language. It's not more likely to not be as popular there. But if that artist wants to do what's true to them, what do they want to listen to? That's what I always say. Make music that you like yourself.
That makes sense.
If you're making music just to be popular, fans understand that. They're going to see right through it. They're going to know that it's not authentic to that artist, and that artist maybe doesn't like it. So you have to make music that you like and innovate from that, and try to do something new. So there's different ways and paths. I mean, there's an artist, if you fill out a room with 100 people, 50 people, and everyone's clapping and having a great time, that's probably a more rewarding show than an artist who has a 500-person venue and then the fans are just kind of maybe not into it. What's better? So there's different ways to do it, and different ways that you should have success metrics. And an artist should look. It's a dorky business way to do it, but what do I consider success? What are those metrics that I want to look at? And then will I reach those metrics? And then is this a successful album release or song release? So, we have artists that come to us and say, I got my first 5,000 streams, and they're happier than the artist who just got 1 million streams. Right? So sometimes happiness is what's important.
It's relative. Very true. I don't know if you do this, David, but maybe sometimes you have to give yourself a pat on the shoulders, because what you guys have done is super incredible. How impressed are you by what you and your team have done in terms of the role and the impact Audio Mac has had, not just on Ghanaian music, but African music as a whole? Because it's been really impressive. And we've been getting messages on social. Again, please send us messages. MX24 TV, the hashtag is MXLIVE. And I know the fans watching this, right? And I'm going to get to the fans in a bit. And the importance of you, the fans, you know, when it comes to buying the music, supporting and getting the streams up. Because none of this we do can ever be done without you, right? These conversations we have are very, very important to us. And we know they're important to you, right? Because, again, these are the artists we're projecting to you because of the effort you put into buying the music. So, again, back to the question, how impressed are you guys by what you're doing, and what are the plans moving forward when it comes to getting African music to the global market?
I mean, I'm extremely impressed. We have such an incredible team here on the continent. You know, we have an office in Lagos, Nigeria, so we have a couple Nigerians coming today to help do this whole week with us. And you know, our VP of marketing, Charlotte Buana, is incredible. She's, you know, has set up our entire strategy for the continent as well as Europe, and that's our strategy in Europe, is to help spread African music, and as well as North Africa and the Middle East, or MENA, we call it, Middle East, North Africa. So, you know, if you go to Dubai, they play a lot of African music there, West African music, South African music. And that's, if you go on our app, you'll see people in the UAE. It's all Nigerian music and Ghanaian music on there. And then, so we, you know, people love it. People are getting, people want to dance. I mean, that's really the key part of any music. And Afro beats and Afro sounds, which is the general term we use for all African, sub-Saharan African music. Is about dancing, and if you could get particularly the ladies to dance, you know, you're probably going to have some fans,
right?
And this is the same with any genre around the world. I mean, I'll be in Latin America. It's the same objective. Can you get people to dance to your music, and then things can tend to grow from there. So people in Europe, they like to dance. They like to go to Amapiano parties. They like to go to dance hall parties.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear a lot of Ghanaian music at these events.
Nice.
And that's what we want to do. We want to get people to learn more about the music that's being made here, and have it influence them as well.
Nice. Who does David listen to from Ghana? I have to find out.
I really like Olive the Boy.
Yeah, he's good.
So he's a new artist that I've been really listening to. I like Amare as well. She sort of makes pop music, but I really like her. She's got an amazing voice. King Promise, I mentioned, is one of my favorite artists here. There's a new artist called Cici.
Okay.
So it's Siicie, if I'm not mistaken.
Siicie.
I know, yeah.
So okay, please find her.
He's incredible.
Find him.
Yes.
Find him.
He's a new artist that we're really excited about. Starting to see very good numbers from him. I would check him out. I like Bees Trap as well. We do a feature on AudioMac app called You Need to Hear. So this is an artist from anywhere around the globe. We highlight artists from the Caribbean to Latin America, U.S., obviously Ghana. And Bees Trap is our most recent You Need to Hear featured artist. So if you go on the AudioMac app, you'll be able to see a whole featurette about him, learn more about, you know, what inspires him, what kind of music he makes, and a bunch of cool photos as well. Okay. You'll see that on our Instagram. You'll see that on AudioMac as well. So those are some of the artists. Viola is another artist that I'm interested in. I'm starting to hear more people listen to. Okay. So, yeah.
David, I'm assuming whenever you're out in like a club or at events, you have to pay attention a bit more than the usual fan. Is that fair to say? Because you're trying to find out, okay, who's being played here or who's being played on radio. Is that fair to say?
Well, when I'm at like a function, I'm looking to see how people react. Sort of like a DJ, because I'm a curator as well. Okay. You know, I curate a lot of playlists on AudioMac, and a lot of all genres. So I'm mixing the genres together, where else we have like specialists who are doing one genre or one region. So I'm trying to see like, all right, what kind of music is going to be fit the palette of a particular playlist that is supposed to have anyone listen to, any language, anywhere in the world. So I'm trying to find music that fits in those sorts of playlists. But, we want to break artists here, and we do break artists. So I have to get early on with artists, and very young artists, too, I have to listen to. So I'm trying to see, like, what is getting people to dance, and what is getting people to feel any sort of emotion. If it's not dance music, was it resonating with people one way or the other? And that's what interests me, and that's what made me want to start this company. So it is kind of work though, right? Like I sometimes I want to just like listen to like the hits and classics, from back in the day and have like nostalgia. But I kind of always have to be listening to new music.
You have to.
So it's a gift and a curse in a way, because I
get that.
If I have something in my ears, I have to. It's work in a way, Work I love, but it's being a curator is an interesting job.
For any artists watching this, right? What advice would you give them? And are there ways they can reach out to you, if not directly, if they want to create partnerships to promote their music? Because something you said at the beginning of this conversation that was very interesting to me is we're in a time where platforms like AudioMac has given the creatives the power, First, you needed a record label to have your music on TV, on radio. But now you go to AudioMac, you upload it as instantly as you want. Yeah. So is that the way moving forward? Just release as many songs smartly, like you said, as you can on the platform. Should artists reach out to you? Again, are there ways to get their songs on your playlist? How do these work?
So I wouldn't say there's one size fits all in terms of like the music release, strategy, right? Like some artists, depending on the genre, depending on their access to studios, access to studio equipment, where you could put out a lot of music, like a Gucci Mane style, like he used to do, or just like flood the streets, so to say. That will work for some artists, and other artists, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to want to sit down and write their songs and record them and re-record them and put out a few, an album a year or a few songs a year. So it depends on the type of artist. I can't really say there's one way is better than the other. But in terms of how do you get an AudioMac playlist, there's a couple different ways that you could do this, right? And one of them is actually related to a new feature I actually want to talk about.
Okay.
It's called Tastemaker Program.
Okay.
So, you have verified artists on AudioMac, you have authenticated artists, and then now we're making a new status called a tastemaker. So a tastemaker, you could apply to become a tastemaker on AudioMac if you're a curator, and you can make playlists based on anything that you like. So you get this badge, and your playlists are going to show up higher on AudioMac, and you're going to be able to build an audience. Okay. You're going to be able to send messages to your followers of your playlist. Sort of build a brand for yourself and showcase your chops as a curator, making the best playlist that people want to come back and listen to, helping to break artists. So I would look, if you're an artist, look for these tastemakers and find their information and then pitch your music to them if you feel like it fits in their types of playlists that they make. In terms of reaching out to me, I'm on Instagram, DC Ponte, DCPONTE.
Please find him. Please find him.
Follow me. I'm going to try to answer it as much as I can. And I would also say to follow AudioMac Africa. Of course. AudioMac Instagram as well. And then also follow our VP of Operations, SVP of Operations, Brian Zizek. Okay. So just like if you use Twitter or X, go on there and search AudioMac Z. He's like our most popular spokesperson, and he answers all the questions. And he's giving out masterclass type advice every day. Wow. On his Twitter, and then follow him on AudioMac and everywhere. He's going to answer a lot of questions that you might have before you even need to ask them. Okay. And then we have other curators. I would follow them and just be respectful and say, hey, I think this song is a good fit for this playlist for this reason. And sometimes they'll go, no, I don't think so. And
Yeah.
other times they'll go, yes, and
Yeah.
add it. So I just be respectful and, you know, make it make sense for that curator on why they should add it.
Okay, so before we do wrap up, one thing I've learned in life is just show up. You know, it might not always be the best day. You might not always have the biggest song. You might not always get the features you want, but just show up, right? So one thing I'm getting from you and your conversation and this masterclass we will get into before we wrap up is be there, find the information, reach out to the people, because you guys are open to answering the questions, right? You guys are open to listening. And again, we're very, very appreciative, you know, as creatives for this platform. So before you do go, why do you think it's important, again, for young creatives, young managers to be a part of this masterclass? Why is that important for this industry?
I think it's important because there's a lot of different ways that you could be involved in the industry, whether it's an artist, whether it's a manager, whether it's a digital marketer. There's a lot of places in the music industry, and there's a lot of roles to fill in Ghana in particular. And the more you learn about the availability of these roles and how maybe your skills match it. I mean, maybe you're an accountant, right? And you know, artists need that, right? Artists need business people of all types. They need, you know, people who shoot photography, shoot videos, creative directors, stylists. There's so many different roles to be filled, and you know, you might just have to try different things and learn about different things to find your calling.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people start out as an artist and they end up doing something else in the industry. That happens a lot because, you know, you can't necessarily be a musician or an artist for 50 years, right? You start off, you learn things, and then maybe you help other artists moving forward. And then, so try different things, be productive. I think when you say show up is like how I would say it is like be productive. Like, don't just be sitting there wasting time. Like, time is the most valuable resource we have.
True.
And apply your skills in a tactful way so that you can get the most out of those results. So be productive, try different things, and when you find things that are working, learn more and get better at those things.
Man, thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been such a big blessing. I hope we get to talk some more. But before you do go, so I'm seeing on the artwork, which we've been posting here, it's happening 4th December from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the British Council. So I'm seeing also to attend, apply via the link in our bio. So I'm assuming you go on Instagram and you find the link. How do people get to be a part of this?
So it's on my Instagram, DC Ponte, Audio Mac Africa Instagram as well. The Continent Live is one of our partners here, as well as the British Council. So yeah, I believe there's still spots. Check it out. There also may be video and clips to watch, and I believe portions of it are going to be on social media. I'm not sure if it's being live streamed or not. It might be. But yeah, check it out. Just and if you're available to go and you get and you're able to apply, then that's fantastic. And there's a lot to be learned.
Nice one. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks,
So again, 4th December, British Council from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Please go there and apply. If you don't get a chance in, you always have to keep trying. You know, like you said, reach out on X, you know, on Instagram, send messages and the like. And from everything I have seen so far, they truly are, you know, open-armed into listening and answering anyone. But before I do let you go, your favorite Ghanaian food, if any?
I mean, of course it's jollof, right?
Okay. I mean, Ghana jollof is the best.
Yeah, I just got here this morning, so I haven't had like a proper Ghanaian meal yet.
Okay.
So I'm excited. What was it? It's like the potatoes.
Is that
It's like sticky potatoes.
is that benku?
I had that last time.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Is
you
benku?
dip in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that stuff and whatever, and I like spicy food, so.
Nice one.
I'll find
David,
some,
thank
yeah.
you so much. It's been such a big blessing. I do have to let you go. I promised you an exclusive, and we're going to have excerpts of this, you know, interview all over our social media. If you want to learn some more, if there's any more information you need, you can come through to the MX24 studios or reach out directly, you know, Audio Mac Africa on all platforms. Again, they're willing to listen to you and to answer you, and to all the creatives, we're always here for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a very wonderful afternoon.